If you're over 40 and your polo shirt makes you look like you're heading to Home Depot instead of leading a board meeting, this video will change that in the next 6 minutes. Let me tell you about Mike, a successful construction company owner who came to me with a problem. I walk into meetings with developers and architects, he said, and I can see them sizing me up before I even speak. Same income bracket as these guys, but something's off. Mike's issue isn't unique. I see it everywhere. Successful men who've built impressive careers, but somehow their polo game is working against them. Meanwhile, other guys in the same room command instant respect not because of what they're wearing, but because of how they're wearing it. The difference. 3 specific things I'm about to show you. And stick around because the third principle I'll share at the end changed how I show up in every room. By the time we're done, you'll never look at your polo collection the same way again. Let's start with something that'll save you from the biggest mistake 90% of men over 40 make: wearing the wrong fit. And I'm not talking about going up or down a size. I'm talking about understanding how a polo should sit on your body when you're walking into important meetings, not weekend barbecues. Here's the reality check: those loose boxy polos you've been wearing, they're aging you. I don't care if they're comfortable, they're sending the wrong message. When fabric hangs loose around your torso, it creates this visual weight that makes you look heavier and less decisive. But here's where most guys overcorrect. They go skin tight thinking it makes them look younger. It doesn't. It makes you look like you're trying too hard. And at 40 plus, trying too hard is worse than not trying at all. So what actually works? The shoulders are your foundation. The seam should hit exactly where your shoulder ends, not hanging off, not pulling tight across your back. Get this wrong and nothing else matters. The body should follow your natural shape without clinging. Think about it this way: when you're presenting to clients or networking at industry events, you want your polo to give you structure, not restrict your movement or show every imperfection. Length is critical, and most guys get this wrong. Your polo should hit just below your belt line, not covering your back pockets. That looks sloppy. Not riding up when you raise your arms. That looks cheap. Sleeves should end around mid-bicep. This proportion works whether you're wearing the polo alone or layering it under a blazer. When you get this fit right, something interesting happens. You naturally stand straighter, move with more confidence. That's not psychology. That's what happens when your clothes work for you instead of against you. Think of the difference between a tailored blazer and a windbreaker. One sharpens your silhouette, the other swallows you completely. Same principle applies here. Now here's where you can instantly separate yourself from 80% of men your age: choosing the right fabric and colors. The difference between a crisp, heavyweight peak polo and a flimsy big box tee isn't just what people see. It's what you feel when you walk into the room. One makes you stand taller, the other makes you shrink. I learned this lesson the hard way. I once wore a paper-thin white polo to a major networking event. I looked like I was about to wash someone's car, not close a deal. That's when I understood the right fabric doesn't just hold its shape, it holds your confidence in place. Here's what the sharp guys know: fabric quality is everything. Peak cotton is your gold standard. It has structure, maintains its shape throughout long days, and has this subtle texture that photographs well in professional settings. When you're in back-to-back meetings from 9 to 5, you want fabric that still looks crisp when you're walking to your car. Merino wool blends are game changers for cooler months. They regulate temperature, resist wrinkles, and have this natural sophistication that pure cotton sometimes lacks. Performance fabrics can work, but choose wisely. You want moisture wicking without looking like you're about to coach Little League. Now color. This is simpler than most guys make it, but the impact is huge. Navy works everywhere. Boardrooms, client dinners, industry conferences. It's authoritative without being aggressive, classic without being boring. Charcoal gray is your modern alternative to navy. It pairs brilliantly with both jeans and dress pants, and it's particularly sharp if you have gray in your hair. White is powerful, but only in substantial fabric. Cheap white polos cling and wrinkle like paper napkins. Quality white polos hold their shape like a crisp Oxford shirt. They look intentional and confident. Colors like forest green burgundy or cream can add personality without looking like you're having a midlife crisis. The key is choosing shades that enhance your skin tone while working with your existing wardrobe. Skip anything neon overly athletic or with logos bigger than your thumb. Here's the truth. The wrong fabric makes your $80 polo look like a $12 gym tee. The right fabric looks like quiet wealth. But here's where most guys completely drop the ball. And it's costing them respect they don't even know they're losing. They nail the fabric and color, then destroy everything with poor styling choices. Alright, you've got the fit and fabric figured out. Now let's talk about putting together combinations that work for your actual life, not some fashion magazine fantasy. For client-facing roles or important meetings, navy polo dark wash, jeans, brown leather loafers. This combination hits the sweet spot between approachable and authoritative. The dark jeans provide structure, the leather shoes add sophistication, and the navy polo bridges formal and casual perfectly. For creative industries or modern offices, charcoal polo well-tailored chinos, clean leather sneakers. This says you're current and confident without trying too hard to be trendy. Warm weather, professional events, white polo tailored shorts that hit just above the knee, leather boat shoes, or quality sneakers. The key is proportion and quality. Everything should look intentional, not thrown together. When you need to elevate for presentations or client entertainment, polo with an unstructured blazer, dress pants, leather, dress shoes. The polo keeps you approachable while the blazer adds authority. This works beautifully for business dinners or industry events. For networking or casual business settings, polo with a lightweight cardigan, dark jeans, leather brogues. This gives you texture, sophistication, and flexibility as the evening progresses. Here's the principle behind all these combinations. You're balancing different levels of formality. The polo serves as your foundation. It's versatile enough to work up or down depending on your accessories and bottom half. One crucial point: context always matters. The combination that works for a Saturday client golf game isn't right for a Monday morning presentation. Think about your environment and adjust accordingly. The goal is to look like you made thoughtful choices, not like you grabbed whatever was available. Which of these combinations feels closest to your typical day? Are you more of a dark jeans and loafers guy or chinos and clean sneakers? Keep that in mind as we move to the next section. Now here's the part that might sting a little, but stick with me because recognizing these mistakes could be the difference between getting that promotion or watching someone else get it. I've watched thousands of successful men over the years, and small mistakes have huge consequences. Let me tell you about what happened to a buddy of mine. A friend of mine, CFO of a promising startup, showed up to pitch investors in a neon logo polo and white athletic sneakers. This guy's brilliant, had killer financials, solid product. But guess what the investors remembered after the meeting? His outfit. They passed on the deal. That's when I realized every detail matters, especially the ones you think don't. Logo overload is mistake number one. I see partners at major consulting firms wearing polos with logos so big they look like NASCAR drivers. When the branding dominates the shirt, you look less sophisticated, not more successful. Subtle or no branding almost always looks better. The accessory mismatch problem trips up even smart guys. You'll nail the polo, then pair it with a chunky sports watch, worn baseball cap, and beat-up sneakers. Each piece sends a different message, and together they create confusion about who you are professionally. The tucking dilemma. This one's tricky. Some guys always tuck, making casual settings look stiff. Others never tuck, missing opportunities to look more polished. Simple guideline: tuck with dress pants or chinos when the situation calls for polish. Leave untucked with jeans, but only if the length is right. But wait, before you think you've got this figured out, there's one mistake that'll kill all your progress: footwear. White athletic socks with leather shoes, running shoes with business casual, or flip-flops anywhere but the beach. These choices destroy your credibility instantly. Color coordination matters more than you might think. Your belt should complement your shoes. Your socks shouldn't be the first thing people notice. These aren't rigid rules, but guidelines that help create cohesive, intentional looks. But here's the biggest mistake: not considering the total impression. You might have each piece figured out individually, but if they don't work together to support the image you want to project, you're working against yourself. Your polo might cost $100, but pair it with beat-up sneakers and you're right back at that backyard BBQ vibe, no matter how much you spend on the shirt. Every mistake here is subtle. And that's the danger. It's death by 1,000 unfashionable cuts. Go look at your last meeting photo. Does your outfit say intentional or I got dressed in the dark? Remember, in professional settings, people size you up in seconds. Every choice either reinforces that you are someone who pays attention to details or suggests that you don't. And in business, details are everything. Remember Mike from my opening story, the construction company owner who felt like people were sizing him up before he spoke. 3 months after applying exactly what we've covered today, Mike calls me up. "I just closed the biggest project of my career," he said. Same expertise, same track record, but now when I walk into a room, people lean in instead of checking their phones. Another client told me something that really stuck. My teenage son started asking to borrow my polos after I upgraded my wardrobe. That's when I knew something had really changed. When your own kids notice you've stepped up your game, that's when you know it's working. This isn't about the clothes. It's about removing the barriers between you and the respect you've already earned. What actually changes, you stop second guessing whether you look the part. That mental energy you used to waste worrying about your appearance now goes toward crushing the conversation, closing the deal, connecting with the people who matter. Your colleagues stop seeing you as just another guy in the office and start seeing you as someone who handles important things well. You speak with more authority. You take up space in conversations instead of shrinking into the background. The guys who get this right have an advantage that compounds over time. Every meeting, every client interaction, they show up looking like they belong in the room with other successful people. Look at this stage of your career. How you present yourself is strategic. It's one of the few things you can completely control, and that control speaks volumes about who you are. The 3 rules we covered: proper fit, quality materials, smart styling. Master these basics and you'll never walk into another important situation wondering if you look the part. You've earned your place in that room. Now dress like it. Tomorrow morning I want you to do something. Check your polo fit in the mirror. Does it pass the shoulder test we talked about? If not, you know exactly what to fix. And if you want to take this to the next level next week, we're diving deep into layering polos with blazers and sport coats. I'll show you exactly how to layer a polo under a blazer without looking stiff or overdressed. Thanks for watching. If this changed how you think about polo shirts or presenting yourself, smash that like button and subscribe. Don't miss next week. It's where things get really interesting. Thanks for watching.